good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from, and welcome back to another hot and fabulous deal of the day. What is the deal of the day, Natasha Monique? What is the deal of the day? I'm so glad you asked. Well, today's deal that is on the table, this is what I call the Real Talk series. We just gonna have a real talk car conversation today. This is gonna be a little longer than the typical reel, but I just wanted to talk to you and share some things which was on my heart. And today's deal that I want to propose to you that's on the table is let the healing begin. What are you talking about, Natasha Monique? Well, let me share with you. 4 years ago, I got married, and while I was on my honeymoon, my father passed away. Unexpectedly, unbeknownst to us, suddenly passed away. Got the call while I was on my honeymoon. The devastation, the just lost for words, just so many emotions just went through my mind, and we were out of town and had to come back. The ride home just seemed like it was just forever because I wasn't there. It was just so many emotions, so many things going through my mind. 6 weeks later, my grandmother, who was also living with my parents, she passed away. I was a grandma's grandma. Me and my grandmother were very tight. I would help take care of her sometimes and help my mother out with her and different things. And it was just tough, the end of 2024. Newlywed, lost my dad on my honeymoon, lost my grandmother 6 weeks later. And one of the things God highlighted to me that I just allowed the healing process to, I just pushed it aside, the healing and the grief process. And so when I said, let the healing begin, that's the healing of your grief, the healing of your loss. It's okay to heal and to grieve, guys. I allowed myself to just get busy with everything, to not deal with the emotions and the grief of losing my father and grandmother in a 6-week period. And as close as me and my mother, me and my mom we're very close. But a lot of times I was apprehensive about, after they both passed, about going to her house to visit, because I didn't want to deal with the grief of walking in there and not seeing my dad there, walking in there and not seeing my grandmother there. And so I had to deal with that reality the past couple of months and really start dealing with that and allowing God to heal the grief, going through the grief processes. Some days it hit me like a brick in my face, and then some days, I was good. So I just want to encourage you to let the healing begin. Don't block the grief process you may be going through. You may have lost a loved one to death. You may have lost a loved one to a child, a good friend. You may have lost a failed relationship, divorce. That's like death, And so, I just want to encourage your heart to, God is there and He wants to heal your heart. He wants to help you navigate through the grief. And can't nobody tell you how to grieve and how to heal but the Father. Let the Father help you through this process. Let God help heal your heart. Now, I'm not going to say that it's easy. You're going to have your tough days. You're going to have some days that you're good. But nevertheless, let the healing begin. Let the grieving process, that's a natural process. Let it happen. Don't do like I did and get yourself all, just push it in the back of your mind and not deal with it. That's what I did. I just didn't want to deal with it. But God, it's almost like He forced me into dealing with it. And so now I'm in such a good place. I can think about them and things like that. And it's just different. It's just different because I really let the healing begin. I dealt with the grief. I faced the grief. Grief was right there, your face, girl. And I just allowed it to happen and to deal with it. So that's the deal that is on the table for you to let the healing begin. God is there to help you. He's here to comfort your heart. Listen, when you lose someone that is dear to you, that hurts. That's a pain that nobody can explain to you. Oh, people can sympathize with you, but everyone grieves differently. So don't let somebody tell you, oh girl, oh guy, you need to snap out of it, brother, sis, you need to snap out of it. Oh, yes, we know that God has us. He is there, but hurt is still hurt. Grief is still grief. Devastation is still devastation. We are human. No matter how much Jesus we have, no matter how much we are filled with his spirit and his power and we believe him, we're still human beings. So as you go through your healing journey, you let the healing begin. As you go through your grief process, know that you got this. Take it one day at a time. Take it one step at a time. You're going to have those moments where, like I said, that you're good. And you're going to have those moments. It's okay to cry. It's okay to say, God, I need your help. God, you got to strengthen me. It's okay. It's okay to say all of that. God, this is hurting. This hurts. This hurts. Help me. All of the above, broken relationships. That's grief. Trauma. That's grief. That's hurt. Those things hurt. So take time to allow the healing process to begin. I am Natasha Monique, your hope and inspirational dealer. And let the healing begin. Work through that grief. Work through that hurt. Work through that disappointment. Work through that heartbreak. Listen, been there. But God, I can tell you that God is a healer. He will strengthen you. He will help you. And you got this. Love ya. Bye-bye.